are we to spend an hour with Dale Earnhardt Jr. just hanging out, asking questions in a relaxed atmosphere as we get ready for 500 laps at Bristol. Hey, you know another thing that you're lucky? This is the 100th race here at Bristol. How many people knew that? 100 at Bristol, began in 1961. Of course, a lot of the guys that have gone to Victory Lane include Cale Yarborough. Darrell Waltrip won a bunch of them here, I think 12, 7 in a row. Dale Earnhardt Sr., of course, was the man here as well. I know all of you happy with that. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. as well has gone to Victory Lane here, both the Nationwide Series as well as the Cup Series. Got some cars out there on the racetrack. We'll check in on Dale, see how close he is. He's just moments away. Look, we're going to be going live here on the web, cyberspace. So once Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes out here, keep the applause going. Let everybody know not only are they lucky, but we have the luckiest people in the world right here to hang out with Dale Earnhardt Jr. How many of you think Dale Earnhardt Jr. can get it done in a place like Bristol? This is a place that he can do it. Well, I think I'll let you in on something. Let's talk a little bit about Dale Earnhardt Jr. You know, when we were doing that show Inside NASCAR on Wednesday evening, they came to me and they said, who do you think's going to win? And I said, you know, I'm not sure. But I got a feeling, the guy that's going to go to victory is Dale Earnhardt Jr. right here, driver of the Amp Energy Chevrolet of Hendrick Motorsports.
Hello.
So once again, Junior Nation, welcome to the live edition of Amp Up, the 88.com video chat powered by the new Amp Energy Juice. Dale Earnhardt Jr. right here. What do you think of the new juice?
The juice is good. I've had it a few times. It's been out for a little while, so I like it. Works for me. So I never was a coffee drinker, so it's pretty
this
good.
Right
way.
Here, if you haven't gotten your Amp Energy Juice drink, there's going to be a lot of it on the side, so make sure you go to that, pick up some Amp Energy Juice. No need for coffee anymore, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. just said.
Yeah, there's about 20 pallets of it back here, so we got a lot to drink.
All right, we're going to do some right now. Let's check it out. I need a sippy cup, but it's really good. Dale's going to throw one of those out there. Who's going to get it? No.
I don't know if it'll make.
Be careful. Be careful.
Yeah.
Well, let's get you warmed up here for a second. Let's ask some abstract questions, Junior. If you were off of work for about 2 weeks, let's say, you didn't have to go do anything, and you had an opportunity to go somewhere, where in this country or around the world would be your first place that you'd want to go to?
I've been to a lot of places, but I've never seen Europe. I think I'd like to track down through the several generations of my family exactly where we came from in Germany, and maybe go there and have a beer.
Have a beer in Germany?
Yeah. Just go wherever whatever the town is we came from, and maybe have a beer or two.
Don't blame me there. All right, another abstract question. I know you've been around a lot of famous people. You're obviously famous yourself. Who's the most famous person that you've ever had a conversation with on the telephone?
On the telephone?
On the telephone. Abstract question.
Probably the president.
I was wondering if you were going to say that.
President Bush called me after we won the Daytona race, and I guess Kenny Chesney might be another one. So
Kenny Chesney.
And old Kenny are good buds, so we get on the horn every once in a while.
All right, we're here at Bristol. Let me ask you a little bit about this racetrack. It's obviously been changed a little bit in the past couple of years, and it was always a very difficult racetrack to get around when it was much narrower. Where does this racetrack rank in terms of the difficulty for a driver to sustain 500 laps, keep your concentration, and do a good job? Is it right at the top, near the top?
I think it's near the top as far as being physical, to really, really work on your body physically. It's one of the toughest tracks. It, along with Sonoma, places like that. It doesn't have any straightaways where you get to rest, so you're always working. You're always in a corner, turning and working the car. You're working every muscle in your body in the seat, trying to brace yourself against the. in the car. So it's pretty tough physically. Mentally, it's not no more difficult than anywhere else, I don't think.
Let's go. Let's ask a question now. Let's get one from the live audience out here. Once again, we welcome everybody in cyberspace. We're going to be coming to you in just a moment to get your questions live for Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the AmpUpThe88.com live video chat around the world. And once again, there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people online right now, so we're all very fortunate to be here as well as online. Question from the live audience. Steve Thorpe from Lubbock, Texas. With regards to the feel, how much has changed with the development of the current car?
Well, not a lot has changed in the development of the current car. Basically, the way the car was when it was, developed and brought to us for the first time is pretty much how it is now. Aside from obviously the wing is gone and we have the spoiler now, but underneath the car, there's really not a lot different. The rules are really tight on the chassis and the frame and everything, and how that's made and how you're able to change it. Although that's very limiting. Obviously, the rear end housings are the same ones we've been running since 1960, and trailing arms those have been around since 1950. And so I mean, the car is basically the same car we've been running. The COT, especially since it was brought to us. We can change. One of the things we can change, which we change a lot, is the front spindles and the front A-arms, the upper and lower A-arms get changed a lot. And different packages work for different tracks.
But we have realized as we watch on TV and we watch all the stuff that goes on at the racetrack, how fine a line it is for you guys trying to adjust your cars during practice and during the race. I mean, it used to be, you would hear, hey, let's drop the right front air pressure 2 or 3 pounds. And now all of a sudden it's 0.4 or a half a tenth. Has the area of which you're able to work really shrunk with this race car?
Well, I think that the window for the car to feel good and drive well is really small. We have a lot less downforce now, so that doesn't save your butt as much as it used to. You used to be able to rely on the downforce to get you around a few things within the setup of the car. And you could run some kind of ridiculous things, spring and shock wise, and the aero would save you and correct that at high speeds. And now you don't really have that, so the springs and shocks they're really important. But again, going back to the front spindles and the front A-arms, that package right there, where the geometry is in the car and where the roll center is and how the cameras gain and all that, is really where the most important stuff is, and where I think you see some teams improving over others.
All right, let's go out to cyberspace right now, and let's ask this question. Here's a very interesting one, Dale. What top 3 songs have you been listening to lately on your iPod? And that question comes from NASCAR 191.
Top 3. There's a band called Brand New that they're not brand new. They've been out for a while, but they've got a couple old CDs that I listen to. Matthew Good's always been a favorite of mine. He comes out with something every 2 years. So, man, I don't know. I just downloaded a song by a band called Mumford & Sons. They're a good little group. If you want to check them out. So, pretty good stuff.
All right, let's see. Here's another one interesting one. Do you still have the baby goat that you had? And that comes from Lynn 8833.
Yeah, when we gave a donation to Victory Junction this year, and Patty brought over 2 goats to the house, so we had to make a pen and everything for them. And they're still there. I can hear them from the house, and every time I walk out the front door, they start going crazy. And it's pretty cool. I don't even know what their names are. So I think we named them, and then I'd forgotten an hour later what we named them. But they're still sticking around, and they're pretty funny. I mean, they got horns and stuff, and my nieces get in there, and they get around headbutting the nieces and stuff, and I put Killer in there a couple times, and he gets headbutted, and he wants out. So they're pretty cool. They're tough.
Hey, do you remember the one, I think it was a goat, and I'm not sure if it was in Florida or not, that the guy had the three, it was a natural three on the side of it. Did you ever see that one?
The spots, yeah. I've seen a lot of threes and tater chips and all kinds of crazy stuff.
All right, here's...
On the back of turtles is popular. Yeah.
All right, here's another one. Let's see. Oh, this is another music question. I've seen you in the video, I Want to Be a Rock Star by Nickelback. Of course, you were in that. Pretty good. Nickelback, not so bad. Are you planning on doing any more videos? And that comes from Alan Franz.
Yeah, we don't really we don't plan those things. They kind of happen last minute, where the band will call you up and ask you if you want to do it, and it's like, all right, if you want to do it, it's happening tomorrow. You know, that's kind of how it works. So yeah, they'll call you. It's nothing that you plan months out, like a lot of things. But I guess it would seem that way. The only time that you know, sometimes like if you're full on if you're in the whole thing, like we were with Three Doors Down with Tony Stewart, and we did the Sheryl Crow with Steve McQueen's song too. Those get playing a little earlier than a day or two, but for the most part, it's a last minute thing. Especially with a quick cameo like the Nickelback, they'll call you and say, "Hey, we're going to film it tomorrow if you can do it," and you want to do it, you know, and you just hope you're available.
Here's a good one, and I think it's kind of apropos as we get ready to go to Bristol. The night before a race, Dale, how do you wind down before you have to race the very next race? What is your ritual like the night before? What do you do, and how early do you go to sleep, and those types of things? It
depends on what time drivers' intros are. If it's a night race, like we won't have to get up we won't have to be anywhere till probably 3:30 Saturday, so I'll stay up late and just play video games and stuff. But if you can't drink beer night before the race.
No.
So, I don't drink past Tuesdays. So wow. During race season, I mean, that's just the way it is.
Good for you.
You want to be, yeah, yeah. That's not by choice, but it's just if you want to be sharp on Sunday. But I think that if you got to get up early, man, it's kind of tough because I don't like going to bed. Before midnight. So when you got to get up early, it's hard to make yourself go to sleep.
I know you like to race online, and you dedicate a lot of your life to that and helping others to excel at that as well. And you get a lot out of it as far as enjoyment yourself. What about other sports that you watch on TV? What are some of your favorites?
Well, I'm a huge football fan. Love the Redskins, and it's the perfect time of year. Preseason, watching a lot of games. I'll be taping the Saturday game against the Ravens and going home and seeing who was good and who wasn't. I play fantasy football, so you learn more about football than you ever want to doing that kind of stuff. But we play on ESPN, and that's pretty fun. The first time I did it was last year, and I got hooked on it. But I love football. I like college football. You see a lot of good. Yeah. You got it. College is different because those guys, they ain't playing for millions of dollars. They're playing because of the passion of the sport and their pure love for what they're doing. So.
Hey, Tina Rogan wants to know what's your favorite college football team?
My favorite college team? Nah. I pull for both South Carolina and North Carolina. So yeah, I got to pull for my man Spurrier and the Gamecocks. And then I got to pull for the Tar Heels. It's hard pulling for the Tar Heels, but they've gotten better over the last couple of years. Their scouting's gotten a little bit better.
Hey, let's get a little timely here then. We know Wrangler's been a longtime supporter of yourself as well as your father, and also the guy that's been quarterbacking for about 20 years, Brett Favre. Your thoughts about Brett Favre never hanging up the cleats? Give me your sense.
I mean, if you can keep going, man, keep going. That's what I say. My personal opinion is that the media creates all the fuss about it. He could care less. He just wants to play football. He don't care who's announcing it every day. Whether he doesn't create this back and forth battle about whether he's going to play, not going to play. It's all a big media story. He's just sitting at home. He knows what he's going to do. He's known for months what he's going to do, and I like the guy. I think he's got. I think he's done a lot for that sport, and I think he's got good character, and I think he's a great role model.
Once again, we're here at Bristol. Let's take a question from cyberspace. This one is, what is your fondest memory at Bristol? And it comes from Dale Jr. Fan 50.
My fondest memory, I saw both races in '84, but I think the two races in '85 were the ones that stand out to me. There were some really, really big wrecks in turn 3 and 4 that blocked the whole track, and watching my dad run around there with no power steering, which at the time I didn't know what that meant, but I found out afterwards like how tough that was, and you know, it was pretty cool and amazing to think back about how he made that happen and how he ended up winning the race. But I mean, half the field had been knocked out in these wrecks, but it was still a pretty cool deal. And I think that I was here in '84, but I was so young. I think when I saw those two races in '85 is when I knew Bristol was different from other racetracks, and I knew just what they had here and the magic that they had here in the side of this hill.
I remember that race as well. You know, to give us a sense, you mentioned power steering. How different is it for us people that are just fans and don't get an opportunity to drive? What's the difference between what you feel power steering, driving a passenger car, and driving a cup car? Is it the same type of feel or no?
Well, when the power steering works, it's the same feel. The wheel's real easy to turn, and it works just the same. The power steering pump on our car is up until several years ago was off a Chevy Celebrity, and was the same power steering pump you could buy at Advance Auto Part. It has a little bit different pulley system and stuff, but the casing and everything was the same. I had the power steering go out one time at Chicago a couple years back, and I wasn't able to be competitive, you know, until we got on old tires. On new tires, everybody just drive around you. So it just really cemented how amazing that was for my father and anyone else, I guess, who's had success and overcame something like that. So it would be almost impossible at a short track like this, you know, for me to imagine being able to run 450 miles or 450 laps like that.
One more quick one about that. I mean, I was fortunate enough to go through the Buck Baker driving school and Richard Petty and things like that. And when I first drove, which is, you know, not very much, 30 laps or so, I was surprised that when you basically let go of the wheel, I mean, that thing's hanging to left. Is it exactly like that everywhere you go? I mean, if you were to leave your hands off that wheel, is it cutting left like that?
Yeah, that's the caster built into the car. Only places it doesn't do that is the road courses. On the road courses, we do a thing. Every week you center the steering wheel. You'll put the steering wheel on, drive down pit road, and you'll see some guys stop, and then what they're doing is taking the wheel off and centering it because they've got it where it's crooked when they're going straight. So on a road course, you can center the steering wheel while the car's rolling because it won't veer one way or the other. But you can't do that anywhere else. And that's the caster in the car. If you're running a little bit of caster split, it's going to pull to the left.
Once again, we want to thank everybody for being out there in cyberspace. This is the Amp It Up, ampupthe88.com. Dale Earnhardt Jr. live chat around the world. We've got about 1,000 people out here having the opportunity for these people to ask questions, and of course you around the world. Here's one. Junior, I was wondering, have you seen any great movies this summer? That comes from NASCAR 1919.
I probably have. I can't remember if I've seen any great ones this year. I don't really go to the movies that much. We got a great theater there in town, but I don't really get out there to it much. But yeah, I like watching. I like watching just regular TV instead of going to the movies. I've been watching a show. I think it's on Comedy Central called Tosh.0. Has any of you guys watch that? I think that's funny as hell. It's hell. That show is great. And his viewership is like past Jon Stewart and all those other guys on Comedy Central. But that's a funny show. And The Office, when it's on, is good. And their season, The Office, their season is so short. Yeah. It's like I've been TiVoing all these reruns. I'm waiting on a new season.
Yeah, I still go back and watch all the Seinfeld.
I do too.
The Seinfeld episode as well as Office.
Yeah.
I watch those back to back.
I think The Office is this decade's Seinfeld. So, I mean, it's a good show.
It is. All right. Here's kind of a funny one, but we were just at Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago. Didn't have what you would thought it would be your best run, but here's an interesting one. Do you have a favorite turn at Watkins Glen? Is there a favorite place you love coming up there through and you enjoy, or is it just all frustrating?
Glen?
Yeah, at the Glen.
Well, I mean, the Glen's a fun racetrack. I think they changed the numbers on the turns this year, so I guess instead of 11, we got 7. But turn 6, I guess, is a left-hander before the final straightaway. And that's a fun corner. I don't know what it is about that corner. It's a little bit banked, and the exit's a lot of fun. You're on the edge coming out of there. But I think every part of that track's a lot of fun except the bus stop. The bus stop's real frustrating. Just trying to dance around on top of the curbs and get through there as fast as you can. And your best run through the bus stop is still half a second slower than Marcus Ambrose. That's what's frustrating about that. But those guys just straighten that thing up somehow, just make it amazing. But every time I try to go through there like that, I knock the sway bar arms off of it.
You've been in part of this sport growing up, obviously, and being in the garage area when you were a young lad, and then eventually going on and running the Nationwide Series, winning championships, onto the Cup Series. And you've seen our accessibility as media change a lot because we have so many shows covering this sport. And it obviously makes it much more difficult on everybody in the sport, particularly the drivers. Here's one about the media. Do you wish that your scanner was off limits to, say, fans sometimes, let alone the media?
Yeah, I think I do. Every week I wish it was off limits. I know the fans, if I was where you were, I would want to listen too. I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen, there's some drivers done something that's talked about throughout the garage every weekend, and we all like to be in the middle of it and hear the stories and talk about it. But I think I don't really mind the fans listening. But when the media pipes up about what they think about my chatter and whether they think it's good or bad or they give their opinion on it, there's a little bit too much opinion, I guess, in today's media. Especially.
That one comes from Dale Jr. Fan 50. There was a follow-up asking about your ranch. What can you tell us about your ranch? I guess she called it a ranch.
My home?
Your home and your spread out there. And I know you enjoy and you love to have company over, and you entertain a lot of people over there that are friends of yours. Tell us a little bit about it. Yeah, right. We're going to go right after this, 8:30.
We just had I got a little dirt track out there, and I got a niece, Carson, and she is in she just decided that she wanted to drive race cars, and she went to some little dirt track just down the road from the house last night and won her first race. She drives these little she drives these little go-karts with wings on them, little mini sprints they call them, and she'd never raced before till 2 days ago, and we took her down to my dirt track and we hosed the track down and broke it in, and she just rode around and around and around for hundreds of laps, and then she went out to the dirt track a couple miles down the road where they race every Wednesday and won. So we were real happy about that. Before she came, I guess this is a group for like 13-year-old kids and younger. The person that was winning was a female, and she was excited for Carson to come out there because she said all the boys were too slow. So Carson got out there and ended up winning the race. But we do a lot of that. We ride four-wheelers and razors and things like that. The razors are an awesome vehicle. We take those through the woods and have a lot of fun with them.
Let me ask you this about when you talk about Carson driving and all that. How much do you think you gained from watching since you're a little boy to get you ready to go into the Nationwide Series and then the Cup Series? And how much of it could possibly be passed down through genetics? Your dad was obviously one of the greatest of all time.
I'm not sure if any of it's really passed down through genetics. I mean, you get temperament and approach and mentality and things like that. Like, you will act a lot like the people that you grew up around, but everything is in observation. I think when you're growing up and you're young, if you really plug into it, you'll learn a lot. You'll learn everything you need to learn. Kids who don't have that kind of attention span or have other things that distract them tend to know less about what they're doing when they get to this level. So the guys that are great and the guys that tend to really be amazing in this sport are the ones who that's all they did every night, all through high school. Nothing took them out. Nothing took them down the road to the gas station to hang out, or they missed all their high school dances, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, they really worked at it, and that's all that mattered to them.
Mike Brown says he's the biggest fan in Western New York of yours, and since kind of the move over to Hendrick Motorsports is as you've gotten more experience with life in this series, and we know that your time is eaten up, Have you been able to carve out more time for yourself personally, more downtime, more, be able to decompress after everything that goes on here on a weekly basis, or is it still more hectic than you ever dreamed of?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, you can't get any more time for yourself. You're just going to have to work till you don't work anymore. So I think you look around and you see all the effort everybody else is putting in. The guys that work on these cars, they work so many hours, and so you devote yourself to doing whatever it takes and whatever you can. We were at Grisham, which is a little short track in Georgia, testing 2 days ago, or yesterday actually, and we'll go back in a week or so after we learned everything we wanted to yesterday. We'll go back and learn and try some other things. We ran out of time. You work as much as you need to work, and there was a time where I thought, the older I get, the more I'm going to devote time to doing what myself, and I'm gonna relax and not work, not be willing to do as much. But that's not the case. I mean, when you're in this business, you got to work, or you're gonna it ain't gonna have you around. You can't do it half-assed. You got to work hard.
You want it as much as ever for those people that may say differently, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's the last several years have been the most frustrating that I've ever dealt with. I think going through the rookie season, was really tough. We won a couple races and got a little bit of taste of what that's like, and then the last half of that season was awful. I could kind of say this is much the same. The last couple of years have been really frustrating, and your patience wears out on trying to get it turned around. But getting fired up and hollering and pointing fingers and stuff like that doesn't fix it. What fixes it is just going back, working, showing up, be on time and have your game face on when it's time to practice, be ready to practice, and you just got to keep telling yourself that, if it's going to get better, it's going to start with you, and hopefully that spreads around the people that are working with you, and you try to make it a good impression on the guys that are working on your team, and try to let that affect them, and hopefully everybody sort of gets lifted up by that. But you just work hard. I mean, we'll get up tomorrow. I'll be in the car from 9 o'clock till the sun goes down, and you just got to work hard every lap and try to remember, the guys that are working with you are trying to help you.
The competition is obviously getting better. Some of the best stuff we've seen on racetracks in a long, long time. In recent weeks, we've seen somewhat, whether or not it's a chink in the armor of Jimmy Johnson, and Mark hasn't really been running as well, apparently, as he has in the past. He finished second in points last year. Can you give us anything without getting specific as to are those guys working on some stuff, or is the competition caught up a little bit? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they're Chad and Jimmy are put what they want in their car to win races. They're not testing. They're not going outside the box seeing if this little crazy idea works. They're every week they put in what they need to win the race in their mind. So they're working really hard. Trying to figure out where they're off track, I suppose. I mean, they're still, a great race team and still finishing well. Mark's struggling just as bad as we are, and we all work in the same shop, and we just all try to, look around at what the 48's doing or what the 14's doing or whoever's running good. We have, we had a big meeting this week. We have one every week. And this week in the meeting was Darian Grubb, and he was sharing his ideas over what they ran in their car because they ran pretty good at Michigan. And, we're all working together as much as we can, so working as hard as we can. Competition's really close. The car's really close. You can't overdrive these cars an inch. I mean, if you overdrive the corner by a foot, you're going to get beat by the guy who does it perfectly. So you can't drive these cars as hard as you want to. You have to really pace yourself in the corner.
That's something you had to learn because you're not a guy that likes to back up the corner. I would.
I know, think. And it's yeah. I mean, every time I go in the corner, you're looking to go through it faster and trying to get into it deeper and still stop and still set the nose and all those things. And it's not that easy in this car. So you just have to learn that the car is only going to go through there as fast as it wants to, and you just have to pace yourself to do it every lap.
Here's a good question. Katie Eccles wants to know, and this was a great moment for all your fans as well as anyone that was a fan of the number 3. You drove the Nationwide car to Victory Lane at Daytona. You took that car and stuck it in the Hall of Fame down there for a while. And tell us a little bit about that experience and how much that meant to you.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I mean, I'm into the history of the sport. There's certain race cars that I think are just incredible, and they were icons in certain parts of this in the history of the sport. And we ran the Gray Ghost, which was a car owned by Lanier. Bobby Allison and Buddy Baker drove it in 78, 79, and 80, and we ran that at the All-Star race a couple years ago. When we had chance to, we were doing all kinds of cool stuff like that, and with Martin Truex Jr. and a couple people, and we would just do all kinds of neat things whenever we could, and it gets harder. The higher you go up toward the cup level, the politics get in the way of letting you do cool things like that. So we were lucky to be able to already have a relationship with Wrangler. We had an open spot for that race where we didn't have a sponsor, and I said, Kelly, why don't we run a Wrangler car? I've always wanted to run this certain exact scheme that we ended up using that weekend. We did it with Truex at Darlington when he was driving in the Nationwide Series. So I wanted to do it, and I thought it would be an 88, and I walked out of the office, and I came back a month later, and Kelly had it all planned out and had the 3 on there, and I was like, whoa, man, I don't know, that's a lot of weight to be carrying around. So, luckily we won the race, made everybody happy, and there's a lot of pressure riding in on that race to put that thing in Victory Lane, and I was glad we were able to do it.
Yeah, great night, no question. This is another question from WCG88, who's logged on to ampupthe88.com. Are the night races more exciting, and does the track race differently from day to night?
Well, as the night goes, as it gets dark, the tracks always get faster. Right around 3 o'clock or 3:30, the track will start picking up about a tenth a lap every hour, and you see that every week pretty much at every racetrack. And then it sort of flatlines and stops getting faster, that much faster. I mean, right at 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, you'll pick up a good 2 or 3 tenths. So it just cools off. The track gets grippier, and cars will get a little bit tighter maybe, depending on the track. I mean, sometimes the front hooks up a little bit better. Hopefully the balance don't change, which is great about the concrete. The balance really doesn't change on the concrete tracks that much because we're always removing the rubber we lay down. So it's a little bit different.
Which leads us to right here out in our studio audience. Sonia Marie wants to know, is Bristol's car going to be good this weekend?
Yeah, I hope so. We went testing yesterday to really learn some things about Richmond, but we ended up finding out a lot of cool things that we hope will help us this weekend too. So we've always seemed to run pretty good here, and we were a little bit, we feel like we should run fairly well inside the top 10 all day long every time we show up, and we've been able to do that pretty much on every trip to this place. So we've been struggling pretty bad at Richmond the last couple trips, so we wanted to test for that. So hopefully it helped us at both tracks.
Okay, this is from WCG 88. How much are you looking forward to running the Realtree 88 Friday night with Pops?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I sent my helmet up to Realtree, and they camoed the thing for me. I don't know how they do that print, but it's amazing looking. But so hopefully that thing works out for me. It's still the I wanted a chance to drive the new Nationwide car, but that's not going to happen this weekend. So hopefully Pops has got that thing lined up, and I know he's ready to work. He'll probably work me pretty hard tomorrow, but we got like a 2.5 hour practice for some reason, so that should be a lot of fun.
Okay, here we go. Another one from the audience out here. Let's see. This is from Bonnie Stewart. How long have you been with Make-A-Wish Foundation? She said, absolutely outstanding.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I enjoy working with the Make-A-Wish. Every week you meet 1 or 2 kids, and you get to find out where they're from, what they think about racing. Sometimes it's their first event they've ever been to, and they're just overwhelmed, and you try to calm them down and get them to understand to enjoy the weekend and really take it all in, and you try to give them a good experience, just make them happy for a little bit. So it's that's a lot of fun for me to be able to really have a hands-on approach to a charity like that. And they're just great people. So many great volunteers out in this country that work for them. A lot of amazing people to help that program keep going. And I don't remember when we started. I guess it was immediately as soon as somebody requested the first wish, So for somebody to, I always say there's like so many cool things in this world to go do. And, when somebody says, I'd like to come to the racetrack and meet Dale Jr., I mean, that makes you feel really good inside, when there's like all these other great things in the world to go do. I'm like, why are you coming here, But that's what they want to do, man. So you try to make it a fun experience for them.
All right, so we have a great follow-up to that out here in our studio audience from Lisa Reynolds. What's the craziest thing a fan has done to meet you?
Yeah.
There's Lisa. Wave, Lisa.
I mean, it's...
You're not attempting anything here shortly or anything, are you? Okay.
Most of the time, I don't know what they have done to get to that very moment. But I'm sure there's been some pretty interesting things happen. The fans are very creative people, so.
That's for sure, and they're very supportive as well. Do you find that they continue to support this sport the way they have in the past? I mean, they were so product oriented, and well, I mean, you have a brand new drink out, and they're going to support that as well.
Yeah, I mean, what's not to like about this sport? There's all kinds of great things. I mean, the whole experience is good for the fans. All this stuff out here outside the racetrack, they got all kinds of things to occupy their time until the engines start on Saturday night.
All right, so we're about halfway through the Dale Earnhardt Amp Up the 88.com video chat powered by the new Amp Energy Juice. We wanted to take a break here from the general fan questions to talk about Dale's wake-up call he did in Nashville. So, Dale, we heard that you surprised an unexpected office and passed out Amp Energy Juice. Were the people really surprised? I heard that there was a viral video about to make it, or it's out there.
I guess so. It was pretty fun. We actually really we went into some offices and people didn't know we were coming, and we just handed out. We were pushing around carts of this Amp Energy Juice and just handing it out to people who looked kind of tired, and it was fun. And there were a lot more people in there that knew. I was like, half these people ain't gonna know who we are, and but they all kind of caught on pretty quick, and it was a lot of fun. And Nashville's a great town. I always like going there.
This is one specifically about racing. It comes from K Junior Fan 88. Let's see, it went away there for a second. Oh yeah, hey Dale, what do you think about NASCAR's "Have at it, boys" policy? And I think that they're really talking about the fact that there has been a lot of more aggression seemingly out there, but has it really changed much, or have you noticed it?
I don't think it's any different than it's been for the last 50 years. The racing's all seems and looks the same to me. Drivers' attitudes, everyone's ability to get upset has been the same. Everybody still has the same temperament. The guidelines change as far as what you can say or how you can act, but that's all through society. That's not just NASCAR. So it's kind of surprising that we've had the fines that drivers have gotten over some things they've said, but this is in the age of Twitter and all these kind of crazy things happening to where there's a lot more places where you can stand on a soapbox and run your mouth. So I think I just show up and do my work and go home and then show back up when I'm supposed to do my work.
And we got a few fans out there we want to recognize. Bonnie from Casey, Bonnie Casey from Ohio. Where are you at? Right there? Where's Bonnie? Right there? Okay, Dale Earnhardt Jr. waving at you right there. All right, how about Skylar Fox from Moorestown? Where's Skylar? There's Skylar. How are you? How about Nancy Mitz from Ohio? Wow, that's coming a long way. Nancy, where are you at? Hello, Nancy. Oh, no, she's shy all of a sudden. Here's one. Let's see. I don't know. You've probably been asked this before. This is from Lauren McCluskey. What do you wish to accomplish, Dale, before you decide to eventually retire? Is there a specific goal or anything that you want to do before eventually you hang it up?
Yeah, I mean, you show up every year to race for the championship, so that's one thing we haven't done that we want to win. And you just want to win more races, and you want to do it in a dramatic fashion. You know, you want to win a lot of races that people you want to win the races that people are going to talk about for years. And you know, I enjoy being around the sport. I grew up around this, so this is really all I know. I enjoy driving the cars and being in, you know, working with the guys and trying to get things right and trying to get things going. And when they work out, it's such a good feeling when things go right. And even if it's something simple like making a change on the car that ended up making the car better and doing what you thought it would, it makes you feel smart. So I enjoy that part about it. And but mainly just trying to win races. You know, it's a simple thing of winning races and putting a championship trophy on your mantle.
This is from Dale Jr. Fangirl online. How do you relax after a tough race? Simple.
Yeah. We just go home and open the beer cooler up and hang around with your buddies.
Sure.
Listen to a lot of music. Rock out.
I hear you. All right.
That was the first thing, yeah.
Rock out. Chevy Jr., this one comes, online question. Your mindset when you fire the engine, and what are your thoughts on the race car? That's a pretty good question. What are you thinking there?
I'm thinking about the car, how it drove in the last practice, some of the changes we made the night before, how that might change the way the car acts in a corner. Thinking about the guys around me, what do they typically do on restarts, and how they typically drive. And you guys brothers. You guys look like twins. But you're just thinking about, you know, getting in the corner hard and trying to gain as many spots as you can. When your tires, the best time to make passes is when the tires are new, and you want to charge the first corner and try to get as much as you can the first lap.
All right, this one's from Flate23, online question. How does it feel to have recently reached 500 starts? Only seems like yesterday, man.
Yeah.
500 at Watkins Glen. Let's give him a hand for that. Are you kidding me?
That doesn't really seem like that many to me. I don't know. I hope I can stick around for another 500, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really sound like 500's that many, so I'll just keep going.
All right. Let's see. How about this one from Dale Jr. Fangirl? How do you think Eric Almirola will do as a new driver for JR Motorsports? I'll tell you what, he's coming along.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we struggled this year with some stability in our company at JR Motorsports, and we're just trying to look for something that really would kind of give us, smooth us out a little bit and give us, some consistency. And he's a great guy. I've known him for a real long time, and he's been trying his hardest really to get into the right system, and we hope that that's what we can give him. Tony Sr. is really excited to work with him. Really liked working with him. We already knew a lot about him. He had worked with the 8-car the year him and Mark were driving it, and we talked to Gibson a lot about how he was as a driver. And so I think it's a great program for him, and I hope that we can give him everything that he deserves. I mean, he's a great guy with a great attitude, and he really has a lot of passion to make it, determination. And you want to give people like that the good opportunity. So it's the workload's going to be on us to make sure that we give them the right stuff.
Melissa, out here in the studio audience, where are you? Melissa, we've got one from you. Do you still have your Camaro? If so, how fast have you driven it?
I got a few of them, and I don't know. I really don't watch speedometer too much. I don't have a speedometer in a race car, so I don't look at it in a real car either. But you just get used to habits. Right. But, yeah, I drive a speed limit and a town limit. In the city limits, I drive the speed limit. But what I do out there where I live is a different story. But I'm a safe driver. I haven't had any accidents on the highway.
And no tickets, right?
No tickets.
Wow, that's pretty good. All right, here's one from Lynn, 8833 out in cyberspace. Dale, my birthday is Sunday. Can you wish me a happy birthday? Lynn.
Hey, happy birthday, Lynn, this Sunday. Hope you're enjoying it.
All right, let's see. Let's see. How about from, this is interesting. Someone from the audience wants to know, what size shoe do you wear? I mean, he's got the heavy right foot for sure.
11. Size 11.
11?
It's pretty normal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. What? That 11 fits kind of tight sometimes. It just depends.
Oh, man. All right, Hallian Balian, do you like the new schedule for next year, and are you excited about getting to Kentucky?
Yeah, I am. I think that, you know, we always used to go test there before they made the testing ban, and it's a fun little racetrack. And there's a lot of people out there that love to see a NASCAR race, and a lot of fans in that area. So they're looking forward to it, and I know that there are a lot of people in the surrounding states who will also travel to that event. So it should get a great crowd, and it's a good little racetrack. It should be a good race. It's good and wide, with a couple grooves already worked into it.
Here's an interesting one. Of course, you remember like 3 weeks ago, LeBron James captured the attention of America with a live 1 hour special about where he was going, and it was absolutely crazy. Someone in the audience wants to know, what do you think about LeBron James leaving Cleveland? Do you think it was an okay thing for him to do? To go to a race team, similar to what you did, I'm going to go to a team that's got an opportunity to win.
Yeah, I think everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do. He did whatever he played out his contract and paid his dues, did everything. He did a lot of positive things in that area, so I mean he can do whatever he wants. It don't bother me what he does, and it shouldn't bother anybody else. You know, if somebody's getting upset over that, they need to look within a little bit more and worry about themselves, I think. But I just think I'm excited to see how that team is next year. I'm not a huge basketball fan. I do watch the Bobcats, especially this last season. They were in the playoffs, so we paid real close attention to that. But it'll be interesting. I think a lot of people will be paying attention. They put a bullseye on them, but I think that they don't mind.
Here's one talking about do what you want to do. Anita Eric wants to know, would you ever consider driving in the Truck Series?
I have considered it. So, yeah, I would consider it. I will consider it again, probably. I don't know if I'll ever do it, though. But I consider it all the time. So I like driving in the Nationwide Series. And if I drove a truck, I'd probably want to own it. And it's difficult to build all that stuff. There's a lot of money. You can't just do it. It takes a lot of money to do things. Doing it ain't cheap. I mean, it's just it costs money. No. I mean, to build a truck costs $100,000. To run it in a race is another $50,000. So that's $150,000 just for a one-off deal, man. That's kind of tough.
Yeah.
So.
Here's an interesting one, going back to racing again. Dale Jr. Fan 50 wants to know, how much weight do you typically lose during a hot race? I've heard some drivers lose as much as 7 or more pounds. But I think back in the old days, they used to lose 10, 12, 15 sometimes.
Yeah, I've never weighed myself, but, I mean, you hear stories that it's around 8 pounds, I guess. But it's all, fluids that you put back on that overnight, once you get home. You have to get home and drink a lot of water, drink a lot of Gatorade, and get it all back in there.
Yeah. This one is from Dale Jr. Fan 50 as well. Do you wear any moisture-wicking attire under the fire suit to keep you cooler? We see in the fire suit, what do you have on underneath there?
I just wear a T-shirt and my boxers.
Boxer guy. Boxer.
I used to, after that fire I had in 2004, I wore the fire retardant pants and the shirt under the uniform, but I just got too hot, so I went back to my T-shirt. But and I don't think it's probably polyester, which is probably not a good choice, but or whatever this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, cotton or something, but probably not a good choice. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of drivers, believe in a lot of different things, and I think these cars are built pretty safe. I feel real safe in them. I'd race in my shorts if they'd let me.
Hey, Natalie Metzer wants to know, what is the biggest prank you've ever pulled on someone, or that someone has pulled on you? That's kind of an off-the-wall question. What's happened to you?
Yeah, we I had I put 2,000 crickets in a buddy's house of mine in his bedroom, and we dumped a gallon of water and a bag of flour on another buddy of mine when he was sleeping, and then another buddy, that same guy that I threw all the crickets in his house, he got a friend of his whose girlfriend was pregnant to get one of them tests, and they left it in my bathroom. And yeah, that broke up a relationship I was having at the moment.
Oh,
So
man.
that was kind of ended good, I guess.
All right, here's one. T. Burglar wants to know, what was your most memorable moment when racing Shaq on the series premiere of Shaq Versus?
I think, I think the fact that he took me up on the challenge to shoot free throws, I thought was pretty cool of him. I expected him to be there and be all about work and what he was doing and making the show, because he's kind of the producer of the deal and he's in charge. But he was like, yeah, we'll go. Let's go do that free throw competition right now. And I was like, all right. So that was pretty cool. I just finished putting my cord in and was pretty glad that he did that. But he was just really tall, and that was probably just seeing him and seeing, didn't know people could grow to be that tall. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
And you're a friend of Brad Doherty's as well. He's
Brad's
a big boy as well.
Brad's the same height as far as I'm concerned as him. So,
online question. Hey, Junior, how do you like the 2011 Cup Series schedule from Anita Eric?
The what now? The next
Cup
year's
Series schedule. Yeah,
yeah,
have you taken
I'm
a
cool.
look at it?
No, I haven't really taken a look at it, but I'm cool with it.
Wherever
however they line them up. We got to go there eventually, so however they want to mix them up is fine with me. I think that they should change the races and the chase a little bit, but I don't know what they did, so maybe they did. Maybe they did that. Yeah. So that'll be cool. I think they should change where we finish the season every year.
Yeah.
It should be somewhere different, maybe, yeah.
We think about going to Vegas for the final race.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. In the race in Vegas. In the race in Bristol will be good. In the season in Daytona once. I mean, move it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Be cool.
All right, Dances with Cats. Cat wants to know, do you think the chase system needs to be overhauled? If so, how?
I'm not, well, I've been asked about, what I would do if I was president and all those things, and you don't know, maybe you wouldn't do nothing. I don't know, whether I want that responsibility. Yeah. I don't know what to do to the chase to make it better. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's good how it is. I don't mind how it is. I think it's okay. It's exciting. The racing's only going to be as exciting as we make it as drivers, no matter how they really position the events around and move the points and change the points. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, the best guy usually wins. The way they got the chase lined up, it's a little different. The guy that finishes 12th in the points still has a legitimate shot at winning a championship, but it's kind of like a playoff deal, which I like. I think that they should, there's other forms of sports like college football that don't have a playoff system, and everybody kind of wishes they did, and now we have that, and I kind of like it. I really didn't, I really thought I was a traditionalist at first and thought that the old system was the way to go, but having a playoff system is maybe better, more exciting.
We'll turn the corner here on this one. We know you like to have a lot of toys. You've got a lot of stuff on wheels. There's no question about it. You have the go-kart track and a lot of cars. How many cars do you have? You can answer that if you want. But what's your favorite car that you have out there in the backyard?
I only have about a dozen cars. Normally when I get something new, I sell one. Well, I mean, a lot of guys have 30, 40, 50 cars.
That's from Bruce Sinkler, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Rick Hendrick, he probably has 500 cars, So, I mean, yeah. I don't have when I get something new, I sell something else. And because I think I got it perfectly under this umbrella in my Nationwide insurance. So, 12 is just right for me. But I got a lot of my old Camaros are my favorites. I think I got a 73 and a 67 that I like a lot, and my old pickup truck. Just my old. I got a 2004 pickup truck that's been a favorite of mine.
Mark Martin obviously changed the way people look at this sport, particularly drivers from their perspective of them working out and so forth. Pretty interesting question. Are you involved in a physical training program? That comes from Chevy Jr. Anything at all that you have to do?
I work out every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's about it. I mean, it's a pretty tough little conditioning test that I go through. We have I put that basketball court in, and we play a lot of basketball, and which I think is I had to find some things. Yeah. I'm not a big basketball fan, but I had to find some things that are fun to do that are exercise. I can't just stand there in a room and run on a treadmill. It just drives me crazy. So just running around playing basketball is a lot of fun, and we get into that.
All right, let's see. Hang on one sec. I've got another one here. This one comes from Tina Castle Rogan. Is there a certain thing you eat before a race? Is there something on your diet that you like to do before a race?
No, not really. I got this sandwich that I like to make. It's white bread, don't matter what kind of bread, whatever. Mayonnaise, Doritos, yeah. Hellman's, Doritos, and pickles and ham, and that's the sandwich.
That's too funny.
I eat that every just about every Sunday. So yeah, I've always been the guy that's thrown my chips on my sandwich.
I do too.
You know, so just because it's less work.
You ever do the Elvis thing, the bananas on the
Do
peanut
what?
butter? Elvis thing, the bananas and the peanut butter on the bread.
Bananas and peanut butter is awesome.
All right, Elvis.
But Hellman's and bananas is good. Have you ever tried that? A lot of people don't know about that. Mayonnaise and bananas.
I hear you.
That's a good sandwich. And just a plain old tomato with salt and pepper is good on a bread. Absolutely.
We've got about 5 minutes left here. Going to try and get a couple more in real quick. This one's a tough one. I'm going to ask to you because it came from Becky L. Taylor. Some teams change crew chiefs around. Why hasn't Hendrick Motorsports done that yet with you? I mean, you guys.
What's that?
Hendrick Motorsports. Why haven't they changed the crew chief recently for you? Meaning that she's a big fan of yours.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Obviously blaming everybody else.
You know, me and Lance really get along good. If you know, it's kind of tough when you go around changing things all the time. I think that with Mark struggling and the company as a whole sort of looking for another gear, you can't make one guy the scapegoat for all your problems. And Lance is a sharp guy, and I believe in him. And we're looking to finish out the year strong. I think we can do it. You know, and you know, people want to say. I think Alan Gustafson's an awesome man too, and he's a great crew chief. Yeah. But he's struggling as well with Mark. So I mean, if a switcher or anything like that's not going to be the answer. I mean, you don't switch around two teams that are struggling. I don't think that works. It's not always worked in the past when people have done it, and I think that it's difficult to go through the media coverage that gets. Yeah. You know, so we just need some consistency, and I think we're working at it.
Couple more. Nathaniel Metzger. What's your biggest pet peeve? Do you have a pet peeve of any sort?
Yeah, I got a lot, but I mean nothing crazy. No. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboy fans. That's one. Yeah. Yeah.
Cowboy fans.
I got Tony Jr. is a Cowboys fan.
Oh, that's got to be fun.
My cousin Danny Earnhardt Jr. is a Cowboys fan. Drives me crazy.
All right, Sally Lucas, your biggest fan. This is my first time at Bristol. How fast do you all go at this racetrack? Do you have an idea? No speedometer, but
I think
you go
130
fast.
on the straightaways, maybe. I don't know. We're averaging 115. I don't know what it.
Does that seem fast here compared to a Daytona? I mean, what's the relevance there?
It does. I mean, not so much in the COT. The COT doesn't have the downforce that the old car did, and so you slide around in the corners and you don't feel like you're really going that fast. The old car, it had all these huge fenders and stuff on it, and you could fly around the racetrack on the first lap, and it fell fast. It really did. Okay,
we got a couple of quick ones. We want to give a couple of shout-outs real quick. Marie Gambrill from Utah. Hello out there. Riley Thorpe, 12-year-old Jamie, and Jerry Weber from Ohio, all you guys out there. Hey, from Dale Earnhardt, there you are. Real quick, these are quick answers. Do you take Killer with you to the races?
He don't go as much as he used to because he's scared to get on helicopters, but I quit riding on the helicopters because they were charging too much. So now he comes to the races again.
All right. Cricket wants to know, do you ever play paintball?
We play paintball. Yes. Paintball is fun.
Now, you talked about your sandwich. Do you ever cook? NASCAR fan 838 wants to know.
I cook every day.
Really?
I can cook anything.
How about that? Chef Dale Earnhardt Jr. All right, that's going to about wrap it up for us here. Did we have some fun hanging out with Dale Earnhardt Jr. here? The Amp It Up 88.com live video chat around the world. We're going to find out eventually how many people were online, but probably more people that were here. Dale, thanks so much for coming.
I want to thank the fans, obviously, online. Thank the guys that are standing here. for the race weekend in Bristol, and this is a lot of fun. Make sure you try AMP Energy Juice. It's good stuff, and there's a ton of it here. It's all free if y'all want it. So you guys, appreciate y'all tuning in, and check out ampupdate88.com every week for this chat, and we'll see you guys. Hopefully we'll work hard for you this weekend. Hopefully do good.
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Once again, thanks Dale. Good luck here this weekend, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Thanks everyone.
Give it up, everybody. Randy Pemberton, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Thanks for joining us out here. Oh, yeah, a little louder, guys. He can hear you. Yeah. Hey, nice round of applause for Randy Pemberton once again as well.